smile. Even... Wait, what's the words? When your heart is aching, smile. Even...
Smile, though your heart is aching. Smile, even though it's breaking.
Okay! Wait, copyright. Oh, crap.
Hey guys, so we checked out the movie.
Secret Life of Pets 2.
Yeah,
Woo!
no one knows about this movie. It's called Shocker.
Yo, I'd like to see a Shocker movie.
Okay, Joker. We just watched Joker. It's called Joker, and it's quite a Joker. And
Hey, guys!
you want to address your face?
Wow, that is quite a comment. Oh, this. Yeah, no, that little paintballing accident. We're not gonna talk about it though, because it's not smart.
Okay, so we just watched Joker. In this movie, forever alone in a crowd, failed comedian Arthur Fleck, now he has a name, seeks connection as he walks the streets of Gotham City. Arthur wears two masks, the one he paints for his day job as a clown, and the guise he projects in a futile attempt to feel like he's part of the world around him. Isolated, bullied, and disregarded by society, Fleck begins a slow descent into madness as he transforms into the criminal mastermind known as the Joker.
So going into this movie...
No,
shut up. Hey!
Dude, I'm gonna be editing this and I'm gonna be like... Okay, I have to cut out something every 2 seconds. When this movie was announced, a lot of mixed feelings, right? Because we don't know if a Joker origin movie could, live up to these, comic standards or whatever. And, especially, we're all excited to see what it could bring to the table of, these live-action DC movies. But, always this little, fear, little shred of doubt in our minds.
Because, right after Suicide Squad, I saw a makeshift trailer of, it was a fake trailer. It was a fan-made trailer of Jared Leto's Joker on, a street, on Google, looking up in the sky.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is the legit one.
Yeah, so it's actually pretty crazy that now we have a Joker origin story in live-action form. So now we're going to talk about it. Of course, we've gotten so many interpretations of the Joker, and since he is such a complex character, and, every performance has brought their own spin on it. Even, I feel like Jared Leto gets more hate than he deserves, because even though a lot of aspects about his performance didn't really work, you knew he was trying, so I respect him for that.
Yeah, he really was.
He really was trying his best to melt into that role.
And there was a few lines where I was like, that's awesome right there. That's good. And plus, you can argue that Jack Nicholson's Joker also had an origin, but it wasn't a fully fleshed out origin.
Yeah,
It was a portion of the movie.
Even in the comics as well, right? His stories have been very different. It's never really clear,
I can only think of 3. And
we have the obvious Killing Joke storyline.
Yeah, Lovers and Mad Men. If anyone knows what that is, it's a smaller known story where the Joker becomes a Joker.
Yeah, and so, of course, there's obviously going to be way too much pressure on an actor that gets casted into this role, especially because it's been done so much in the past. I think we were both thoroughly satisfied with this movie.
Not just thoroughly, but thoroughly. Dude, I have the God of Thunder approves this.
So, Joaquin Phoenix, we gotta talk about that first. Saying he was fantastic is a huge understatement. There's no way I can express how good he is in words in this review.
But he joins the best among comic book performances, Rorschach, Haley Joel. No, that's not Haley Joel. Jackie Earle Haley, whatever his name is, and a bunch of other ones.
And the reason that it's so hard to compare him with Heath Ledger is because they both their characters as Joker had different objectives. Because this is kind of his origin story. And, he's just kind of supposed to be shown as being really broken and we're feeling bad for him, whereas in The Dark Knight, Heath Ledger's Joker was just supposed to be, really menacing, the whole time, and he was just supposed to be an asshole throughout the entire thing.
Absolutely, yeah. But, in this movie, you feel for the guy.
Yeah.
I think in one specific scene, you see it in the trailer, I won't say which one, I could have teared up. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
dude, that's so bad. Like I had so much sympathy.
Yeah.
And I just knew where all this was going. So you know what? I didn't want it to go where it led to.
Yeah, and
it's
they handled that like in a really excellent way. You truly, at a point, I was just like, you know, he can just not be Joker, and you know it's fine. He can just get better.
Just, go and get your life sorted out, and I'd actually be fine with that.
Happy ending.
Exactly.
No, but you know, of course, we know what's gonna happen, and it's kind of heartbreaking to watch. And it's really, really well done, and especially because Joaquin Phoenix like absolutely carries, and he's in like every single scene of the movie. I can't remember a scene he wasn't in.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, he's in like the entire movie.
Oh, yeah. I'm still thinking, and I can't think of anything.
Yeah, and unlike Heath Ledger was in The Dark Knight less, but that was more just because there was like probably a hero and a villain.
Probably had like 15 minutes of screen time, and this guy gets like 2 hours and 2 minutes.
Yeah, he's always like the way he transforms as well into the Joker is like, you know, it's not one big leap. It kind of makes you more and more sad because there is such a slow progression of him going into insanity.
With shocking points of like violence, and every time it happened, there was one scene where I think I almost looked away. I'm weak. I'm sorry. I looked at it and I was like,
it feels very real. I forgot I was watching a movie throughout like the entire thing, and the performances as well are so amazing. It's like they're not even acting throughout. It's so well directed. So well shot visually, it looks amazing, and honestly, it's just I can't believe they really pulled it off. It's so well made. By the end, actually, I was like kind of feeling a bit dizzy. I couldn't like get up out of my seat for a second.
Yeah, you said that right after it was done. Like when you told me, you're like, dude, I'm dizzy.
Like I just sat there for like 2 seconds. I couldn't move. I was like, oh wait, I just like forgot I was watching a movie the entire thing.
Yeah, and when it was ending for me, I was doing this because I knew it was gonna end, and I was like, "No, not so soon, man."
It just flows so well throughout. I feel like
perfect pacing.
Yeah, I feel like I shouldn't even bring up pacing because it's like I don't even need to touch on that. It's just like it's a series of events that actually happened, and it's
in
so
real
well
life. Yeah.
It's
Open
so
the history
well
books.
Yeah. So people like, you know, maybe this guy right here, who are, you know, huge fans of the comics, it's not really comic accurate, really, in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I will touch on this, yeah.
And it's really different, but I really liked the direction they went with this movie. I know you had a couple issues with that, but I thought that it worked pretty well, and I like how they did tie in some of the things that we already know into it in some ways. And they kind of even found a way to incorporate things where it's like you still didn't really know how it was going to go down, even if you knew what was going to go down. And that I really loved as well.
Was this the most, like, evil, horrible Gotham that we've ever seen? I think so.
I mean, definitely most chaotic. Robert De Niro is fantastic in this film as well. He's even though he has a pretty minimal role, he's very good, and he really actually embodies this role. I forgot he was Robert De Niro. I didn't think of him as just Robert De Niro.
Right, yeah,
He melted into that talk show.
And he's only in a few scenes. He really could have just been there to collect his money and that's it. Like, he could have done that. Like, you got the star-studded person there, that's all you need. No, but he actually...
Yeah, he wasn't like, you talking to me? He was like...
I won't say he gives effort because... That's too much of an adolescent thing to say. I'll just say he brings a certain weight to the film that I didn't know he was gonna bring. Yeah,
I thought the music in this movie was absolutely fantastic. It actually reminded me of that kind of theme that kind of plays over and over again in Taxi Driver, where they continue with one theme. It didn't sound like Taxi Driver, but it had that thing. In fact, I've heard a lot of people saying it's too similar to Taxi Driver, which I really don't think it is. It's definitely inspired in some ways.
And they pay homages to it, definitely.
Yeah, but it very much stands as its own thing. I don't think it like copies it. at all.
And
I
that's-
think it's
yeah.
even, in some ways, I think it's even more messed up than Taxi Driver.
Yeah, and that's what I'll say. I'll say this. This is just my one big thing with the movie. It's not necessarily a problem, but at the beginning, like before I went to see this movie, I was like, I wish they found some way to tie this into the DCEU because like it would make it better. You know, this needs to be part of the Batman universe. Once the movie was finished, I completely shifted in 2 seconds. Halfway through the movie, I shifted. I was like, for people like me who are like, you know, such fanboys, I may be the only one to say this, don't go into the movie thinking this is going to be the familiar Joker, this is going to be the familiar, you know, story beats, the familiar feeling stuff, because it's not. I want to think of this movie as something totally different. I know that sounds kind of, you know, overdoing it, but I want to think of this movie as something like Taxi Driver, completely wholly original, because then it's nearly perfect. It's a masterclass in pretty much everything it does. Because it's too different for me to say, like, this is, you know,
Right.
the character we all know and love, because I don't think it is.
Yeah,
it's a new one that we...
It doesn't feel like a comic book movie. It feels more along the lines of what Scorsese would do. Again, not saying it, like, copies from him, but I'm just saying because he produced it and everything, it has more of that kind of feel to it.
And Bradley Cooper produced it. Did you know that?
Really?
Yeah.
No,
That's
I
what
didn't.
That's what Watch Mojo told me anyway.
Okay. Wow.
Rebecca, you better not be lying to me.
This movie is super intense sometimes, and, you know, one moment in particular, my heart was, like, absolutely pounding. You can't really figure out how they're gonna do a scene, even though you know what's gonna happen. And when something really terrible happens, it's still super unpleasant, even though, in a good way, even though that you knew it was going to happen.
Right.
And it's the kind of thing where, you know, a lot of people are probably gonna not like that, but it's a Joker movie. Like, what else do you expect?
Yeah, and even if you take enjoyment in some of the more brutal scenes that are so messed up, you know, that's not a reason to trash on the movie and say it's bad. Like, that's invalid. And it's not gore porn, definitely not. This is tastefully handled. This is stylish.
So I guess we should address the controversy then that's been surrounding this movie. A lot of critics and people, and it's kind of the reason, much of the reason Tomato Meter went down. This is like a dangerous movie, and it's going to inspire, like, you know, people to commit crimes and
Here's
do bad
the cancel
things.
culture coming up again.
And it's been talked about. This is like a never-ending thing that's been talked about for as long as we can remember, and it doesn't make any sense because it's a movie, first of all, and if it is depicting something that makes people think that, then I guess it did its job, and it's a Joker movie. And no, it does not condone any violence. There are many sequences in this movie where they clearly are telling us that's not the route to go, and we should, you know, no matter what happens to us in life, we shouldn't resort to, like, the worst case scenario and everything. And you know,
that's why the audience score is like 92 and the other one is like 60 something.
Right.
Somebody has to tell this story. And it has to be this way. That, you know, the movie can't... It's not like it's the movie's fault if people start rioting in the streets.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can't go to Todd Phillips and be like, yeah, you caused this. No!
And people are so hypocritical.
You people, come to that camera.
Yeah. But, you know, that's our 2 cents on it. We're not gonna go too deep into that. If you didn't like this movie, that's fine. But it's not saying that, you know, this movie condones violence and that's why it's not good it's just invalid. So overall, Joker is an absolutely fantastic movie, with Joaquin giving an excellent and Oscar-worthy performance as the Joker.
You better be freaking nominated for that, huh?
Yes, he must be. The movie was truly an experience that I won't be forgetting for a while, and it's kind of amazing that we actually got a Joker origin story that worked this well and was as mature as it was, and it had to be. If you know who the Joker is going into this movie, I'm sure you will love what they accomplished like we did. Joker is a masterpiece, and I'm going to give it an A+.
And before I give my grade, I'll just say I'm a little different than him. I still think the movie is a masterclass on like what it does. I just don't think you should go into it thinking it's like the Joker, like he's gonna feel the same. Because I think it's too different. If you go into it as a standalone movie just about this dude who cracks and goes nuts, I don't know if there's much wrong with it. There's only one little thing that I can think of. So I'm gonna give this movie an A.
So that's our review. Don't be hating on people who like it, and don't be hating on people who dislike it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and share. Really appreciate it if you did. And as always, have a great day. Peace out.
Wait, can I pop this?
Dude, that's for the It Chapter 3 review. Oh.